Yo. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's been a while since I put this microphone on. Hey everyone, thanks for coming. So yeah, today we're going to talk about worms and parasites, which is a bit of a shivery subject, isn't it, you know? And we were going to do it last week, and John Paul said to me, well, if there's only going to be 4 people there, you know, it's going to be a bit difficult speaking about that. You know, it might be a bit awkward, and it would be just 4 people in the room speaking about worms and poo, but we're going to go a bit beyond that, aren't we, today? So yeah, we'll just talk about parasites, which we all have. Everyone's got worms, you know. It's just like, it's a bold statement, isn't it? But yeah, I was a guinea pig, and I went through it, and yeah, we'll see in these slides the evidence that I gathered, and I documented it, and I blogged it. I felt led to blog and be cleansed. And yeah, and I think you only really truly understand something when you teach it, and I really had it on my heart to tell people about this because I felt it was revealed to me. And the more I looked into it, the more it just blew my mind. So I want to share it with you, and hopefully you'll all take something from it today. And yeah, it's very real. We all have them, and we all get affected by parasites and worms in our gut. And I think we're all here, and it's big in the Messianic movement for getting our lives in check. I know everyone's making their own food and really watching what they eat and really being concerned about the things that we put in our body. And it's brilliant, you know, and it is really good. So yeah, should we start? Does everyone see that? Can you see the screen? Great. So, definition of a parasite, yeah? A parasitic relationship is one in which an organism, the parasite, lives off another organism, the host, harming it and possibly causing it death. The parasite lives on or in the body of the host, feeding off the host nutrients and even its blood, depleting its energy and life force. So yeah, just remember that. Parasites. Oh, there we go. Whoa, spoilt it. Parasites. One click. Not used to this clicker. So, you all seen me surprised before. That was me gag. Did you know that we all have worms in our gut? It's true, every human has parasites and pathogens inside their gut or colon. And statistically, 90% of the population, on a daily basis, we are having a symbiotic battle with pathogens, bacteria, fungi. Our body is constantly fighting these bad guys all the time, you know. So it's huge. And I'm not talking about microbes here. Some tapeworms can cover the length of your intestinal tract, and I've seen them. It's not good. It is essential that we flush these baddies out in the future of an annual cleansing. They thrive in a sugar acidic environment. They stick around in the gut, reaping havoc. Some leach within our liver or intestinal wall and can live up to 40 to 50 years. Huge, isn't it? They stay stuck in there. They stay in a constant cycle by hosting off our bodies, depleting us of vital nutrients and vitamins that we should be getting, and laying anywhere between 20,000 and 40,000 eggs per day. Nasty, I know. Now, I know everyone's probably thinking at this point, but this stuff needs hammering out. Not just one hammer, but 2. Way! So, don't mistake the fact that you haven't found any worms in your stool, that you haven't got them, because believe me, we all have them. Did you know that these worms can also are also one of the lead causes in mental and emotional struggles, such as anger, stress, depression? The list is just endless. We're going to look at that a little bit later on. They make us crave junk food, snacks, and all them genetically modified chemicals. You see, these parasites and worms that lay in our bodies, they modulate our cravings, and they release chemicals into our bloodstream that actually make us crave food. It's huge, you know. You're not actually really, your body isn't going to benefit off eating that cheeseburger from McDonald's. It's the worms inside modulating your cravings because you're having a sugar crash or a blood, you know, when your blood sugars are crashing, and they're releasing chemicals into your body, getting in your nervous system and making you craving these foods. So yeah. These parasites have a massive impact on our physical and emotional state. Teeth grinding, spots, acne, Short temper, sweating, fatigue, these are the least these horrible parasites bring, along with a bloated stomach and a large appetite for junk food. The long-term effects are devastating, and Ford, you can testify, can't you? What was my nickname back in the day? No. Yeah, it was the worm as well. The pregnant man used to call me, because my gut was so big. I was 16 stone, for people out there watching this. I was big, yeah, I was a big guy. And the lads used to call me the pregnant man because I used to have a bloated stomach and just go up gene sizes like overnight, and that. It's just nuts. So yeah, bloated stomach. And it's as simple as this. Everyone must parasite cleanse by choice. By eating unclean and contaminated food, we have allowed ourselves to be polluted with parasites and pathogens. We have invited them in. We've made contracts through sin and overindulged with gluttony. And there is a consequence for sin, isn't there? We know that. There is a consequence to sin, and we're going to look at what the Father says in terms of what we should be eating and the diet laws and how they are for our benefit. And we've all in this room broken that, and people watching it, before we were in covenant with the Father, and there is always a consequence to these things. We live in a fallen world. A lot of the meat, fish, and even vegetables are contaminated, but a whopping 80% of shelf pork, that's pork that you can get in Tesco's or Asda, is contaminated with parasitical worms. It's huge, isn't it? 80% of the pork that's on a shelf in the shops has got worms in it. And as you can see from this screenshot down here, there are 3 important parasites found in pigs which pose a risk to humans that are digested through raw or undercooked pork products. Roundworms, and some I can't even pronounce. Tapeworms, it's massive. Protozoa. Deuteronomy 14:8. And the swine, it is unclean to you. Ye shall not eat of its flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. And this is how it's ingested from when we've eaten pork. The worm exists inside the pork's flesh, the larvae, and the cysts. I mean, how many times have you bit into a sausage and gone, oh, what's that? And in the past, it's like you're biting into these cysts, so they survive through these heat temperatures where it's cooked, fried bacon, grilled bacon, it survives. It goes into our intestinal tract. The cyst is broken down maybe with acids, and the larvae hatches, and before you know it, you've got an infestation of worms inside your gut or your colon. Massive. After they find their way into our intestinal tract, these parasites begin to feed off the food that we eat, absorbing the nutrients, and they even begin to suck out the blood. And I found liver blood flukes, which we'll see now, which were these in my stool, and you'll get more of that later on. But yeah, we have roundworm, hookworm, flukes, tapeworm, nematode, or protozoa. Apparently there's 400 species of parasites that can exist. That's just at an estimate. With 70 common worms. When I found that I had worms, and I went to the doctor, I said, listen, I found these worms here, and they were like, oh, it's very uncommon, it's quite rare, where have you been lately, and all this. Yeah, seriously. So I had my blood taken. I actually seen John Paul in the doctors. I had my blood taken and I had a stool sample done. Now they only test for 3 or 4 parasites. There's 70 common parasitical worms that can exist in our bodies, in our gut and colon. They test for, I think it's salmonella and an E. coli infection and some other one. So they don't even test for these things. So there's complete negligence there. I think so, definitely. But it's not taught on their curriculum, you see. It's not something that they get taught when they go and study in university. They ain't getting told about this type of stuff. A lot of doctors actually promote this. They say, oh no, it's actually good to have worms in your gut. They eat the bad stuff and it's really good for you. And it's like, no, hang on a minute, mate. They ain't meant to be there. So yeah. So when we see this image, if you're a bit squeamish, look away. I'm going to show you pictures. Doctor, he's pulled out, it looks like a bowl of spaghetti. It isn't good. But when you see this, if you want to look away or close your eyes, please be my guest. So, Do you know that there is many doctors and professors out there all over the world that believe parasites are the biggest killer to mankind? So, how do we get rid of them? Brian said something great to me a couple of weeks ago, and he said, if the herb or the creation can't cure it, then it's definitely come from man. And it's so true. In Genesis 1:29, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is on the face of all of the earth, and every tree in which the fruit yielding seed, to you it shall be as meat. Cracking picture. All the herbs, the different herbs, and the effects that they can have on it, the healing properties that they have on our body. And this is how we do it. We use herbs. We don't use pharmaceutical medicine. It can be done by that. But a safe, organic, natural way of doing this is by using herbs. I'll go into them a little bit later. Herbs that heal. The cleanse consists of herbs of the earth. These herbs are Yah-given, designed for us and our human genome. They fit perfectly with our human genome, almost as if it was complete design. These herbs aren't sweet, by the way. They're mostly bitter and disgusting to us. Natural medicine. Oosh. And it is, we can't think of the short-term things here. Oh, it's so bitter and horrible, but we got to think long-term and think of that sweet taste that we're going to feel when we feel fantastic and we know we've really purged the body of these worms, and don't think about the bitter taste there, and then think about the sweet long-term effects of, losing weight. We stood on the scales in the gym a couple of months ago. I was like, 12, 13, nearly 13 stone. I'm like 12 stone 4. I've lost nearly a stone, dropping a jean size, feeling absolutely fantastic. Can't focus on that bitter tea there, and then it's bitter, but it's sweet. It's sweet at the same time because you know that you're actually cleansing up the body. And here's a picture of some of the herbs that I got, and they're so cheap. It's like 50p for a bag of wormwood. It's like, it's great, you know what I mean? And here is my full course. John Paul said it looked like a Chinese, what did you say? A Chinese apothecary. But that was my setup, and I was pretty proud of it. I was taking powerful herbs. They are very powerful herbs. They can have an effect on the body after you've took them. Wormwood can do things to you. You can feel a little bit. I know that they make absinthe with wormwood. Taking copious amounts of garlic, cloves. They burn your face when you're chewing them. Yeah, very easy to find. You can pick them up from a local health shop. Usually independent places. I'll go into more detail about what I took later. More on my cleanse later. So, Leviticus 11. For I am Yahweh, your Elohim. Ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall ye defile yourself with any manner of creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. For I am Yahovah, that bringeth you up out of the land of Egypt, to be your God. Ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. Amen. It keeps doing that. Sorry. So, Jehovah commands us to sanctify ourselves and to be holy as he is holy. This holiness is set apart to the rest of the world. And to be holy, or kadosh, as he is kadosh, is to follow his instructions that he has set out for us. We can all agree on that, can't we? If we understand that this sanctification and this holiness that is in the book of Leviticus, Lev meaning heart, the first and the last letters of the Torah, and Leviticus being in the middle book, reveals the center of Yah's heart. He's really trying to get these things across to us, We can begin to grasp how God's heart works towards us, his creation, his special treasure. I remember finding all this stuff out and going, I need to tell me mum and Becca and sit them down and tell them right now all this stuff, because you love these people so much. It's like a warning, and this is what it's all about. This is why God is warning us about what we should eat and what we should put in our bodies, and he's very specific on it, but it's come from a loving, caring God that's really trying to take care of his children, and he's going, no, hang on a minute, this weren't created for food. What are you doing, eating or drinking it? Similar to how a baby reaching up for a bleach bottle because it looks nice and pretty and all the pretty colours, they don't know that there's chemicals in there that can kill them. Same with us. His children, his special treasure. He's like, no, hang on, this was not created for food. Why are you eating it? In fact, don't, because it's bad. It's bad news. And he's very specific and dedicates a whole chapter in his word to warn us about the clean and the unclean foods. It's beautiful to know that our Creator's heart goes out to even what his children eat and how we are to be hygienic. He really does love us so much, and he wants us at our best. The same you would want all your children in very best and grand health. It's true. I'm sure all the parents in here want your children to be in the best health. It's standard, isn't it, for the children that you love, and it's even greater with God. The gateways to the body. We spoke in the past about how we can let things in. The mouth is a gateway, the ears are a gateway, the nose is a gateway, the eyes are a gateway. You know, if we're dieting, we have to diet on what we watch. We have to diet on where we are, you know, what we're putting into our body. It doesn't just come down to a diet of food. You know, we have to diet on television. That ain't going in my body because it don't benefit me in any way. Same with junk food and things like that. But yeah, the gateways to the temple, that's what I like to call them. The mouth is like a gateway to a city. Think of it like this. A city would never let intruders through their front gates, so why should we? So, a little bit of science now. Interesting stuff. This is amazing, and I hope it blows your mind as much as it blew my mind. So, our digestive system has a nervous system of its own, and it's called the enteric nervous system. Most people don't realize that our digestive tract has just as many neurons as our brain or spinal cord. Isn't that huge? The digestive tract is essentially a converter or a recycling system. The villi captures and converts food into fuel and garbage into waste, downloading the nutrients from the software that runs through it. You've got to see it as microscopic software, and what you put in will determine how it operates. But it's just massive, you know. And again, if, however, these viruses or pathogens that have hacked into the bioreactor, our digestive system, it will affect the entire body and how it operates. Your gut is directly connected to your brain. All the software that goes into your stomach influences the total outcome of you. And we've all heard that old saying, you are what you eat. You know, you are what you eat. What you put into your body, you become. And taking this, we know that the gut and the brain are directly connected. They have an influence on one another. The gut can actually influence the brain just as much as the brain can influence the gut. It's huge. Basically, the biology can affect the psychology. And I was reading how you can wake up of a morning and you can have a double espresso and you've had a bit of restless sleep, and you eat a croissant, and you're running late, and you're on your way to work, and all of a sudden you've got stress, anxiety, you're panicking, and you think it's because, I'm late for work, or, my boss has got it in for me, but it's not the case. It's what you've actually put into your body. The biology is affecting the psychology, and the pollutants or any junk food that you've actually put in is having a massive impact on you when you don't even know it, So yeah, the gut brain or the enteric nervous system is located in the sheaths of tissue lining the stomach of the intestine or in the esophagus. That's where you get the gut feeling. How many people have had it? We've all had it. That gut feeling, the gut talking to you, this isn't right. You feel it in your gut. And even scripture confirms, and I've just plucked this out because me and John Paul did a little thing on it. We didn't go too much into detail. But the Bible actually confirms that the liver and kidneys create thoughts of themselves, and you can check these scriptures out. The liver and kidneys as vital organs in the body, and the liver and kidneys are symbolic of human emotions and consciousness. So scripture is even telling us that the liver is thinking, we've got a brain down there, guys, and we've got to start listening to it. However, if the brain down there is contaminated with worms, parasites and pathogens that are taking nutrients Remember, in the sheaths of tissue lining the esophagus, if we have an infestation of worms that are inside our gut, that are taking our nutrients and that are actually excrementing, which is a toxoplasma that is in the brain, you're basically getting your gut brain poisoned by an infestation of parasites that should not be there. Massive. Let's read again. The enteric nervous system, the gut's brain, is located in the sheaths of tissue lining the esophagus or the intestine. So, if our gut brain, the sheaths of tissue lining the esophagus, is full of a colony of worms, sometimes numerous species, microorganisms, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Things that make you go, So, just moving forward a little bit, finding out some of the effects that these worms and these parasites have on us. This was taken from WikiHow, and it's just a standard site that gives you info on things. I don't know how to bake bread. WikiHow will tell you, but how to know if you had worms was one of the first things that I came across on WikiHow. Short-term effects. So this is taken from a general mainstream website and recognised by health specialists. You get doctors commenting on it. And, you might get nurses giving some advice. But this is what I found on just a standard site. Some of the effects. Some of the short-term effects. Stomach pain, constipation, IBS, exhaustion, fatigue that won't go away, weight loss or weight gain, dizziness, brain fog, memory loss, dementia, eyes, vision, skin condition, muscle and joint pain, acne, things like that. It's just like these things are all caused by worms. We as human beings, we should be operating the amounts of sugar and caffeine that we have in our diet. My friend Jack Brennan was telling me about a boxer who had never eaten sugar and he'd really been strict on his diet from another country. And I'm paraphrasing this, but he went to fight in America and he ended up having a soda or an energy drink and he was shaking that bad he had to go to hospital. It's like, I used to be able to eat a chocolate bar and have a coffee and go to bed. I could eat a pack of sweets and just have a nap. It wouldn't be a problem. And for the amount of food and fuel that we are putting in our body, we should be operating 18 hours, 19 hours, no problem. But we don't. We get fatigued very quickly. I was getting fatigued. I'd be up since 8:30. 1:30, I'm getting tired. I need a siesta. That's how it goes, because these worms are constantly depriving us of our vital vitamins, such as vitamin B12, vitamin B. It's huge. Never feeling full, always feeling hungry. I would never quench my appetite. I used to get called a gannet, didn't I, Foy? I was a big guy, I'd eat a meal and I'd be with people, I'd eat a meal and I'd eat a dessert and I'd be like, I need to eat again, I'm not full. Some people don't even have symptoms at all. Straining, cramping, pain in the rectum, that was me, again, because you're having these IBS-like symptoms. You're constantly in the toilets, you're constantly straining. That can also lead to hemorrhoids and piles. It's just not good. Itchiness or rashness, weakness, chest pain. Some of these worms can actually migrate to our lungs. Dr. Hulda Clark reckons asthma, it's all about these worms. The respiratory system can actually be hijacked also by parasitical worms that cause breathing problems as well. Massive. This was huge for me. Bruxism. I used to always grind my teeth and it came on quickly and it just got worse and worse and worse, and I started consciously telling myself I don't want to grind my teeth anymore. I wasn't doing it just in my sleep. I was also doing it throughout the day. I'd sit there and I'd grind my teeth and I'd go, I really need to stop this. So I consciously didn't want to do it. But basically, these worms that are inside our body, they release toxoplasma into our gut brain, and that affects our entire nervous system, similar to if you have amphetamine or a drug. People show symptoms of teeth grinding. It's like that. Our nervous system becomes affected and we grind our teeth, and it's massive. I would be grinding my teeth all the time. Your teeth become more flat and worn down. Your teeth become more sensitive than normal. Jaw pain, feeling like your jaw is tired, ear or headache, chewing marks on the tongue, and grinding your teeth in your sleep. A lot of these worms are nocturnal. When you're asleep, they're awake. So if you're asleep and they're releasing excrement into your gut, toxoplasma, you're asleep grinding your teeth because your nervous system's affected. They can even cause you to have bad dreams. They're essentially poisoning your body overnight. If you've ever drunk alcohol and had a really bad dream, it's because your body's working overtime trying to sort it all out, and you're not really in your best sorts. If you've got a fever or if you're sick, you can also have the same symptoms. Bad dreams, they can actually cause nightmares to occur because they're poisoning your body when you're consciously switched off. It's massive. So, I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole really goes. Things that make you go, I came across this book, and it was a PDF file, and it was called The Evolutionary Ecology of Parasites. Now, I just want to mention, before the fall, these parasites may have not been like this. They may have been created with a purpose. John Paul did a teaching where he spoke about these parasites and how originally the intent wasn't for that. But similar to how the angels fell and became fallen angels, and they were not originally created for that purpose, this has happened also, and it's adaptive manipulation. So going even further now about what these parasites can do. This guy, Robert Pullen, he actually speaks about a fungi parasite insect that can make their host climb on trees and appear dead. So other animals, such as birds or other insects, they will then go, and the parasite is basically continuing the cycle. It's mind controlling its host to do these things. It's massive. Watch this video.
Ants are a part of the most disciplined, dedicated social system on Earth. Until that is, they become slaves to behavior-controlling parasites. Suddenly, these rogue ants no longer serve the colony. They're taking their orders from the parasite. Okay, let's back up. Now, how did this happen? It all begins when the ants in any town, USA, consume the slime of a passing snail. They divide it up and take it back to the colony. This is a blunder of epic proportions. Turns out, the slime is loaded with eggs of a body snatcher called the liver fluke, a type of flatworm. The liver fluke burrows into a part of the ant's brain, and for unknown reasons, it's almost like the fluke enslaves the ants and orders them to carry it to their next hosts. Any grazing mammal host with a nice warm liver will do, but in this case, a cow appears. The liver fluke worms can switch the ant's behavior on and off, causing the infected ants to place themselves in easy-to-eat positions at dusk when mammals are feeding. No cows in sight, ants act normal. Cows appear, ants are in essence ordered to take their positions in purple flowers and latch on. The cows ingest the vegetation, the ants, and the fluke larvae inside the ants all in one bite. Once inside the cow, the worms burrow out of the stomach and into the liver, where they develop into adults and dine on liver tissue. They lay eggs that are excreted from the liver into the bile duct and then defecated by the cows. They don't kill the cows, but the cows become weak and emaciated, devastating herds. And all because of parasitic mind control.
Parasitic mind control. And Robert Pullen named it adaptive manipulation. And as you've seen there, snails carry parasites. For a long time, I used to pick slugs up out of our kitchen. Every night, loads of slugs would come in, pick them up. And if you'd ever look on the back of a slug or a snail, you see little dots running around. Well, that's actually a parasite. They actually bury themselves deeply inside of the snail. And these parasites can be carried in the larva, in the snail trail. The larva can be kept there. Since watching this and doing my studies, I've noticed that these slugs actually climb all over my shoes and my mum's shoes. They climb all over our shoes, and I used to think potentially sweat or something like that. Maybe that's what they're after. But now I'm starting to question, is it something else? Why do they climb all over the handles in the kitchen? You know, are they actually being controlled to try and get these parasites into us? I'll leave that with you. So yeah, these little critters going after the brain. And it's true. Parasitic mind control. It's there, it's real, it's proven. So then he goes on to say that there is a phenomenon inside some of these parasites and what they can actually do to the host. Listen to this. Some parasites are actually capable of targeting specific organs within a snail host. For instance, they can stimulate the host's growth digestive gland. So basically where their target organ is, they can stimulate growth in that certain organ. Huge. He even goes on to say that they can almost control the host from death. So if they know that the host snail is dying, they won't take as much nutrients or minerals, and they'll avoid certain organs because they want to keep the host alive. Huge. And then I came across some articles in our everyday news. The Guardian, brain parasite that could be behind rage disorder in adults. Explosive road rage linked to parasite spread by cats. Is your cat making you schizophrenic? Parasite can cause schizophrenia in humans. This one taken from CNN. The most common form of brain tapeworm is pork tapeworm. It's like, my mum also knew a lady who's currently in hospital. She can't get this worm off her brain, and it's come from a pork pie. There's no way of getting these worms out. They're that deep. It's a brain worm, like, and it comes from pork. The most common form of brain tapeworm is from pork. Is your mind controlled by parasites? How infectious agents bend their host's will? I don't know why it keeps doing that. So yeah, this is what it's more like, innit? It's not like the WikiHow with the cartoons of the guy like, oh, I've got a really sore stomach. It's like, I'm angry. And these parasites can cause this. You know, if we're having a blood sugar crash and they start releasing these chemicals to try and modulate our cravings, I've got to get that snack, got to get that KFC, got to get that chocolate bar. And then, you know, someone comes on the wrong end of you and you're snapping. Our temper, teeth grinding, fatigue, it's all negative, isn't it? And it's all not good. And these are the real symptoms of what these parasites can cause. Anger, stress, depression. These are the real pictures that we should be showing. So, no more the little critters. It's more like this. This is the consequence of sin, isn't it? You know, we've all indulged in pork, and we've all ate the things we shouldn't have. These things have become real in our lives. And parasitic mind control is real. And the swine, it is unclean to you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. Deuteronomy 14:8. And we've all eaten of the flesh, and we've all touched the swine's dead carcass. And it's huge. The British market for pork, it's massive. We are one, along with like Germany and Austria and them countries, we are one of the biggest consumers for pork. And think about it, you can go to the shop and buy 24 bangers, 24 sausages for like 89p. And a specialist says we can spend on average £22 on an 88 kilos of sausage per year because it's that cheap. You can buy 50 rations of bacon for £2. She then goes on to say that 54 million Brits should know about their bangers because that's what we're consuming, as you can see down here. Our market in pork is on average 1.3 billion of pork profits, and that's taken from the Department of Environmental Food. Indeed, she believes that most sausages are that poor they shouldn't even be called sausages. So you ain't even getting real pork anyway. You're probably getting hooves and tails and snouts and ears. You know, people ain't even consuming. It's not even meat, is it? We know it's not food. And it makes that very clear. And I think we can all testify, and I can testify, the longer we haven't had them type of foods, the more disgusting they are. I can't even be in a room when people are eating it. It's revolting. It knocks me sick, like. And how amazing is our God that he gives us the heads up on these things. Praise Yah, hallelujah. So here's the cycle again. Snails in the vegetation, or other, this is another thing. The things that they feed these animals, a pig doesn't even eat vegetation. A pig will eat its own offspring. If a little piglet has a disease that's incurable, all your adult piglets will eat its own. They ain't vegetarians, they will eat anything. And we consume, the eggs are passed through the pigs in cysts, adult fluke, then inside the intestines of a human. Next video. Check this one out.
Beneath this peaceful landscape, a snail has eaten parasites. They've turned it into a zombie. These spectacular, bizarre, bulging eyeballs are the snail's tentacles. Inside them, parasitic worms have begun an amazing feat of mind control. These parasites have taken over the snail's tentacles and its brain. It's all part of an ingenious plan to extend the life of the parasite and its offspring. The snail has become possessed. It is doomed now to follow the parasite's will. And the parasite is on the move, looking for another host. Next, the parasite needs a bird. Hypnotized, the snails march into the sunshine. They climb from the shade to the tips of exposed branches above. The snail's tentacles, engorged now by their possessors, have grown to resemble a maggot. And a maggot is the favorite food of the birds above. In an instant, the bird attacks, and the parasite triumphs. The parasitic worm happily multiplies in the bird's stomach. Its final trick is to complete the cycle. But it will have little trouble, as the snails below graze on bird droppings. Filled with a new batch of mind-controlling parasites, once they're eaten, the hypnosis of the snails will continue, and the life cycle of the parasite will roll on.
Massive. And that's in a snail. They can hijack the brain of the snail. They can make its antennas seem like maggots. They make the snail crawl up to the top of the leaf in the sunlight. A lot of snails don't even like sunlight. They make it do this. And the bird comes along and sees these antennas that look like maggots. They consume the snail. The cycle begins. It's massive. Anything that makes us unholy, anything that can come in and mind control us and bring around anger and pain and negativity and suffering, is classed as evil to me. And anything that is evil stops us from being the bride. It's definitely worth considering, because for me, even if this originally wasn't meant to be evil, it is, and we live in a fallen world. And if these things make us evil, then they are evil also. Things that make you go, So, this is what should be going on. When these parasites enter the human body, this is what should be happening. Our white blood cells should rally up and go, we've got an invader, lads, come here, we're going to sort it. And the white blood cells should be on it. We've got an armory here. We've got an arsenal. These white blood cells can wipe a lot of stuff out. Stomach acid can melt things down. And this is what should be going on. Our white blood cells should be coming up to these pathogens and just wiping it out. But it isn't going on anymore. It isn't happening. Why? We're going to find out. I read an article, PDF book by Dr. Hulda Clark, and it's huge. Dr. Hulda Clark explains that we are living in a time where chemicals and pollutants are so relevant, more than ever. We let poisons into our body every single day due to cheap and often dangerous ingredients that make up our cleaning products, food, anything. These are pollutants. You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you've got fluoride in your toothpaste. You have a glass of water out the tap. It's got heavy metals in it. You have a bottled water, it's got benzene in it. You have Kellogg's, it's got metal fragments in it. You know, you have certain drinks that have got mercury and aspartame in it. Before you know it, in a 24-hour period, your whole body is dealing with so many pollutants that aren't compatible with the human genome. Our immune system ain't bothered about that little microbe. It can wait. I'm fighting aluminium here that you've just put on your armpit. We're fighting so much stuff every single day. These pollutants are wiping out. Yeah. 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 If you've got a healthy, they're wiping out our gut bacteria, which is our flora, our healthy gut bacteria. And we're dealing with so many pollutants on a daily basis. Our body ain't got time to fight these microorganisms that then develop into something that we can't get rid of. White blood cells don't stand a chance against this gigantic worm. So yeah, pollutants every single day in our body. Hulda Clark explains that parasites are all around us. They are part of life, and it is inevitable that you will come in contact with them. There is no way we can stop every parasite coming into our body. Stopping every parasite coming into your body is like saying, all right, I'm gonna kill all the bugs in my garden. You can't do it. The only way you can kill all them bugs in your garden is by using a chemical that's going to kill your plants, or you're going to napalm your garden. You won't have a garden left. There is no way of completely killing all the bugs in your garden. What you do is you maintain it. You stay on top of it. We cannot kill all these parasites in our body, but we can make ourselves a bit more bulletproof. And it's by cutting these pollutants out that we are faced with every single day.
In life, you have choices. They're healthy and not. And sometimes it's tricky to choose what you ought. So if you are wondering what makes you ill, it's easy to know because everything will. A is for alcohol, source of addiction, liver diseases, and other afflictions. So how about water? That might be okay. But if it's in plastic, there's B, BPA. C is for corn syrup soda pop users, and also for carbs found in sugary juices. D, dehydration. You still have to drink, though all these beverages seem like they stink. Eating too little or too much to count. E is for eating imperfect amounts, and eating some things that you shouldn't consume, cause dozens of dishes will lead to your doom. F is for fried food that's filled up with fat. Gluten for G, if you buy into that. H is for hot dogs. Who knows how they're made? I for insecticide. Veggies are sprayed. J is for jerky with way too much salt. And K is for kale. It's also at fault.
But isn't it healthy?
I'm glad that you asked. Cabbage and kale make thyroids too fast.
Forget about eating. I'll just go outside.
But that is where even more dangers can hide. L is for Lyme disease, carried by ticks. Malaria, M, that mosquitoes inflict. N, N-diethyl-toluamide. It kills all the bugs, and it kills your insides. O is for oxygenless recreation. P for pollution in each inhalation. Q is for quicksilver. Fishing is wrecked. R, deadly radon. That's hard to detect. S is for sunscreen, but also the sun. Both give you cancer. Now, isn't that fun? T for tobacco, UV for UV. W, watching way too much TV. X, as expected, is X-ray. Y is surprisingly yerba mate. Z is for zealotry, any insistence that you found the key to eternal existence. You can't avoid danger, just go on and try. No matter your actions, you're still gonna die.
Hi, I'm Mike Trapp.
Legit, innit? Pollutants every single day. There's even an alphabet of the amount of pollutants that you can find in one single day. I was going, yeah, oh, not that one, but yeah. And it's so true. The body is too busy fighting pollutants that it can't fight these microorganisms. It ain't got time to deal with them. It's so small. The white blood cells are like, we'll deal with you later. Mate, we're getting invaded by something way bigger. And then eventually, these pathogens begin to attack our white blood cells. These fungi, these bacteria, and this is microscopic imagery of bacteria actually then attacking our own body. It develops that well. It can even attack you. And here we have a nematode, a worm, that then creates this tegmentation around its body, which is almost like a force field to our stomach acids and to our white blood cells. We can't kill it no more. It gets that big. So what the image you've seen before of the white blood cells actually killing these worms, it ain't going on till the point where the white blood cells can't even penetrate it. They ain't even getting near it. And then these worms begin to grow, and the white blood cells are looking at it going, are you going to have a go? Because I'm not. To the point where it goes beyond the microscope. They start becoming physical. The white blood cells haven't got a chance. Mitochondria, huge. Mitochondria is known as the powerhouse in all cells. These parasites actually go after the mitochondria. This is the reason why everyone feels so fatigued. Oh man, I haven't had enough sleep. You know what? You've slept for like 9 hours. I know, yeah, but I usually have 10. No, it's been proven that we can operate on a lot less sleep than that. These parasites are going after the mitochondria, which is in the cell. And as we read here, mitochondria turning the powerhouse on. Mitochondria, known as the powerhouse cell. It originates inside the cell, and it's what gives us this energy. The mitochondria develops that, and they go after these inside the cells. So no wonder we're all feeling so fatigued. We've got microscopic organisms blitzing the mitochondria. And again, it's down to the pollutants that we can consume. Aspartame, it's massive. All the poisons that we eat, the GMOs, you're not even safe on a vegan or a veggie diet. And it's that level of what we put in and how much we put in. Now, I'm not telling everyone that we need to stop eating cake and that, because if you choose to do that, there's a feast coming up. Hallelujah. And I'm going to be baking a cake. I'll be putting I'll be putting honey, natural sugars. I'll be putting honey, coconut, things like that in it. I'm not saying everyone needs to cut that out, but we need to be cleansing, And it's dangerous to us. It creates pollutants, and it all lowers your immune system. And by lowering your immune system, these parasites then have an environment that is more favorable for them. And it's about making their environment uncomfortable, making their environment unfavourable. Because right now we all have an environment that is favourable to them. And each one of these parasites, whether it be a nematode, they have a favoured organ that they go after. Liver flukes. I know I was a serious drinker. I would eat McDonald's all the time. I would eat KFC. You know, my diet was just disgusting. So no wonder my liver was full of liver flukes. That was their target organ, because that was weak to me, because obviously I'd abused myself there. Should we take a quick break, grab a brew, and we'll carry on with the next half? Yeah, just real quick then. So basically, just gone into parasites, and that we've all got them. You can't get rid of them all. It's like saying that you're going to kill every bug in your garden. It's impossible unless you destroy the garden. It's about maintaining it. We spoke about how the gut is actually a brain. Scripture actually confirms that the gut produces thoughts itself, that we have an enteric nervous system there, that the gut can actually control the way the brain thinks and affect the whole entire body. If we've got infections of parasites that are excrement and toxoplasma into our brain, in our gut brain, this is not talking about the parasites that can actually get into your brain also. They can reap havoc, cause a lot of stuff, you know, stress, anger, fatigue, even deplete us of vital nutrients, suck our blood. It's just, the list is endless. So we spoke a lot about that. Showed some videos about the adaptive manipulation that the parasites bring, how they can control insects to make them go rogue from their own colonies and be on leaves and look dead for birds, and yeah, a lot of parasitic mind control stuff. And just the fact of like, the reason why this is happening in humans is because of the pollutants. Hulda Clark wrote a book named The Cure for All Diseases, because every single day you wake up, you brush your teeth, you've got fluoride in that, benzene in your water, aluminium in your deodorants. Before you know it, in a 24-hour period, the clothes that you put on, the detergent inside the clothes, in a 24-hour period, your body is dealing with an invasion of pollutants that are not compatible with your human genome. All your white blood cells have rallied up to go and fight that, rather than fighting these microorganisms that then grow into something that can't be destroyed. Cool. Little backtrack there for Reese. So yeah, it's down to pollutants and poisons within our food. And as you can see from these two articles here, I read these, and there's a lot of dietitians and doctors who are saying these parasites are the biggest cause of obesity, because they're releasing these chemicals. They modulate our food cravings. They're making us feel like we're never full. They're making us go after all the fatty stuff and all the sugar stuff, and they're actually keeping us in an obese state. This is one of the biggest reasons people cannot lose weight. Many people try dietary programs, they exercise, they eat correctly, yet they still can't lose weight. And why? Because they are not getting to the root cause, parasites. I had a swollen gut, a big stomach. I used to be called the pregnant man. Terrible, I know. I might have to put a picture up on the slide just so you can see where I was up to. People have caught me in a pub where I've just got me pint and I look like Homer Simpson. It's terrible. And I'd go to the gym and I'd be doing everything right, and I'd be eating okay, and I'd be doing this and doing that. I still could not lose that gut. It would not go. Because obviously I wasn't getting to the root cause, the infection. Parasites, a secret cause of weight gain. Shocking causes of obesity, and why it's making you fat. Are parasites making you fat? These articles have been produced by dietitians, doctors, professors, fitness people, you know, saying that these parasites actually cause obesity. So, how this all came to be for me. I went away to Turkey. I went with my wife, and we booked it because it was pretty cheap and we just wanted to go and just be on a beach. And yeah, I was like, Turkey though, strict Arab country. And I came back and I had a really, 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 really bad bug. I basically had a bacterial infection in my gut. I can't even pronounce it, it's that big. And what it does is, it inflames your gut that much that your intestine and your gut will pump all the water just to try and flush your body out. It will just drown to try and purge. And I was so dehydrated. I was at a point of hallucination. I had a fever, flu-like symptoms where I couldn't even stretch out my arm. I felt like an old man in bed. I was having horrific nightmares, and it was horrible. It was literally, it felt like a demon. It was just like I was wrestling with something, because it was spiritual. It affected me in so many ways. And I had it for 2 weeks, and it went away, and then it came back. It lays dormant. It's quite common, because parasites go in a cycle. So they lay eggs, and it can come back, and it resurfaced. And I had it for another 2 weeks, and it was just horrible. I ended up losing like a stone, and it was just a nightmare. And that was where I began my trail of looking into bacteria, fungi in the gut, and what these things are. And that's when I came across, we all have parasites, and it became more and more relevant to me that this was a bigger thing. This was bigger than what we know. Humans, like all other animals, all have parasites, both inside and outside our bodies. And this is how they get in. Adult flukes through our food, or be ingested through fish, into our gut, into our liver. And yeah, then they grow. Some tapeworms, 24 foot long. It's huge, massive. The size of the intestinal tract, some of these worms. And this is what they are on a microscopic level. And then I began to see things everywhere. There's a Sky Atlantic series at the moment called Fortitude. It's an Icelandic drama about a parasitical worm. A mammal defrosts in the ice, and it's got this wasp larvae that actually possesses people, and it makes them into serial killers. And yeah, and that's how Hollywood rolls, isn't it? They hide in plain sight. They put things there. And Fortitude episode 10 recap: the parasite takes center stage. And it's true. In Fortitude, these parasites, I started seeing it almost everywhere. Then I began to come across videos like this.
Un Baku será. ¿Dónde está Carlos Valero? No. De lo bueno. Bien. Foto. ¡Ay, sí! Como mira, no lo veo. Yo le voy a enseñar esto en video grande a mi familia y mi televisor de 62 pulgadas.
La hija mía come demasiado sería.
Está viva de verga.
Ah, tendría residencia anestesia para que aprendiera. Ya aprendió a tumbar, ya está entubando.
Pero llega muy tarde. Lee llegaba más temprano.
Está bueno, parece una jefa.
Yo no como espagueti, doctor, por eso no estoy firmando, si no estuviera aquí.
Pero este muchachito, ¿de dónde es?
¡Dios! ¡Wow!
¿De dónde es?
We've seen enough. Ascaris, nematodes, as they're known. Infestations. People have got infestations inside of the body. But don't worry, don't stress. You can kill them. You can cleanse. And this is where we come to our last part of the teaching. The war of the worms. And this is what it was for me. And I'm telling you right now, it was a war, it was a battle. It's a daily battle. And what got me through it was God. Because the first couple of days, I was telling myself that I was fine. I was like, what are you doing, mate? What are you doing? You're fine. You've gone to the gym. You're eating well now. It's okay. God's made you. It's all right. You're fine now. You're pure. You're great. Don't do the cleanse. Was it me? But I carried on. So, herbs that heal. This was Becca's course. She'd take Rebecca, my wife. she didn't really want to taste the bitter herbs. I know. So she went online on Amazon. You can buy capsules, veggie capsules, and you can build the dose yourself. And we sat there. We spent 3 hours mixing it up in what's it called? Pestle and mortar. And we built her capsules, and here they are. She took the whole garlic in a teaspoon with water. There's no really way of capsulating that. It's not too bad anyway. Argan oil, oregano oil. Milk thistle, digestive probiotics, and then a colon cleanse, because basically when you start killing these worms, you've got to get them out your body, because a lot of them contain eggs inside of them. So when they die, if they start to decompose, they're just going to lay their eggs anyway. So you've got to get them out. You've got to flush that body. You've got to be regular. You don't want to be killing them and having a dead infestation of worms in your body. You've got to get them out quickly. So she took aloe vera, ferox, barberry bark and burdock root as a colon cleanse. That was Rebecca's cleanse, and she did that. She was a woman, that's what her research led her to. Some sources for that is Organic Olivia. She's great for any girls out there that want to check her out. And then what I took was wormwood in a tea. So I'd make like a tincture of a morning, and I'd brew it in like a diffuser tea. Yeah, I was taking diatomaceous earth. I was taking whole cloves. I would chew the whole cloves up, and I would drink it with water. I was taking chopped ginger. I was taking chopped garlic, sometimes taking yarrow, and I was also taking cleansing herbs, and oil of oregano, digestive probiotics, milk thistle, and whole cloves, as I mentioned before. I was also taking cayenne pepper, which is a super spicy pepper. It felt like I was breathing fire for like half an hour after it. Sometimes I was bathing and I was like, get out the way. I might set you on fire there, But yeah, I could really feel that working. That was just getting stuck into them, and it's a great feeling. But it is War of the Worms. It is a battle. Let me give you the heads up on that. And this is how I was taking it. I was taking the raw bitter herbs of a morning. For the first 10 days, I was fasting, so I was waking up. I was not eating anything except for my teas. I was just putting this into my body. I was taking the whole cloves and the garlic. And sunset was about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then I would eat a meal. And then I would have my second tea later on in the night, which was like one that had brewed all day. It brewed for like 7-8 hours maybe. And then I'd take that as a shot with diatomaceous earth and cayenne pepper. And it was super strong, super bitter, but great as well at the same time. So warning, not for the squeamish. Here it comes, guys. Hope you're ready for this. Close your eyes if you don't want to see it, but I think we should all see it. We've got to look at this. We've got to see it. We've got to see it. So here we go. Day 4. Day 4, I started finding little hooky worms. As you can see here, this is a plastic knife. I advise people to have gloves, whatever utensils that you're going to use. You need to inspect your stool because you need to see what you're up against. But Becca, she inspected the stool a couple of times and found evidence. Sorry, Becca, if I blew you up there, babe. But we have to tell people, so yeah. Keep your gloves and your utensils because you need to know what you're up against. But Becca did say a lot of the times, flush and forget, that's how you should keep it. But no, I needed to know what was going on. So yeah, day 4, started finding these things, and this is just one picture, but there was a lot. I also found candida, which is common in a yeast infection. Candida makes your stool all stringy and sloppy. It wasn't nice at all, but that's how you know candida is coming out here. Warning, not for the squeamish. Day 4, is when I started finding the blood flukes, or the liver flukes, but these were definitely filled with blood. They looked like they were filled with blood. They were red. As you can see, these are images on the left side, images online taken from different forums of what they look like cleaned up, you know, and this is what I found in my stool. So as you can see, day 4, started passing these guys as well. Very real, very sick, I know, sorry. And here's a fluke, and here's what was in the stool. It's identical, isn't it? And I was shocked. At this point, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh no. And that's when, you know, the symptoms did start kicking in. They start putting up a fight, start releasing the chemicals and toxins into your bloodstream, and you start feeling sick, flu-like symptoms. You're going to have problems around any mucous membrane, your nose, your mouth, your ears, your rectum, genitals. These things are going to start becoming affected because the poisons that they release will affect any mucous membrane. That's let alone the fatigue, the tiredness, the snappiness, the short temper. It was a battle. Yeah, every hour I was going, what are you doing? I was drinking the tea going, I can't believe you're doing this, what are you doing? Even to that point, it was at that very moment, it was like, have you ever seen when the camera pans in on Jaws and he's like, that's what it was like. I was like, no! Yeah, you're on it. So, not for the squeamish, here we go. So, day 5. I started finding the tegument, which people call it tomato skin or cinnamon stick. As you can see here on the left, this is what people have found. People were finding these on their 3rd week of cleansing. I was finding these on the 5th day. As you can see down here, it's basically when the parasite starts dying, even though they're agents of decomposition, they start decomposing themselves, but their skin, your stomach acids can't break it down, so it comes out. That's how they stay alive in your gut. So yeah, it's known as tomato skin. People call it tomato skin or cinnamon sticks. I was finding them on day 5, which shows that my cleanse was pretty potent. If people were only passing them on the 3rd week, that's the sign that they're dying. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I need to give you the heads up on that. It was like that, Reese. And I was getting pains in my liver, you know, for a couple of days after. When I went to see the doctors, I was like, look, I have got really, really bad pains, left side of my stomach and my gut. And online it says it can be 3 things. It's either these flukes have eaten away at your tissue and you've got wounds. You've got wounds there on your liver. There's toxins inside your organs. And yeah, your body's repairing itself, so it can be 3 things, you know. Oh, sorry. Or they can be doing what's known as migration, where they scatter and they'll actually try and bury deeper inside of an organ. That's why it's essential when you start the cleanse, you have to finish it, because you can make it 10 times worse for yourself. If their environment starts becoming unstable, they will start laying tremendous amounts of eggs, quadruple what they normally lay. They will migrate, they will try and go to a different organ in the body, so you have to finish the cleanse, and you must do the cleanse again, because they'll have laid 50, 60,000 eggs as opposed to standard. They will try and bury deeper inside of your liver. You have to get them out when you start it. You can't just quit. You've got to continue it. The worst thing you can do is like throw in the towel. Very, very clever. Very, very clever. These things have been around for a long time. You know what I mean? They put Bear Grylls to shame, mate. They're survival specialists. They're pros. Some forums were even saying, look, if you do your course, again, switch it up. Take black walnut hull, take this, take that. Don't use the same ingredients, because they'll know. They adapt to it, bro. They begin to adapt to these herbs. These herbs, they make the environment unfavourable for them, so it kills them. But they can adapt to that even further. The survival specialists, mate. This one is extremely gross, okay? So hold your breath, or just close your eyes and I'll tell you when it's over. It's going to be gross. I'm sorry. Right, this was really bad tegment. So this is here on the left, off an online site. This was what I was finding. It was gross. It was long. It was big. It was like snake skin or something. It was just gross. It was really bad. And this is what it is: the tegument. The tegument found in all parasitical worms. It's like a cytoplasmic, I can't pronounce that. It overlays the layers of muscle, prevents your stomach acid and white blood cells from getting on it, basically. And it's thick, you know. It's like a skin, mate, yeah. It's like a skin that encases them. That's why when they start dying, they start decomposing themselves. Their skin comes out because your body cannot kill it, like can't get rid of it. That's what keeps them alive. That's why it comes out whole. It's wrong, innit? Sorry. I was infested. Telling you now, my head was gone as well, like, you know, at this point. So yeah, the tegument protects the parasite against its host, against its digestive enzymes. Survival specialists. Day 9. So here's me, taking the brew, taking the bitter tea. Are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Day 9 of the parasite cleanse. Here we go. I had to hold my nose. It's definitely advisable. Oh, noxious. Can't. It's worse. It's worse. That is seriously bad. But good. So you get the gist. When you start this, trust me, you don't want to speak for after a minute after you've taken these herbs. It's the second most bitter taste known, the wormwood. It's so bitter, but when you've got diatomaceous earth, when you've got cayenne pepper, when you've got cloves and that in there as well, whoa, it's grim. You have to hold your nose. So day 10, this is when the die-off symptoms, as they're known, really started to get a hold of me. It was hard, really was. And as you can see on this, don't even really know what I'm talking about. I went into Aldi and I was like, what have I come in for? I had massive brain fog. There was a cloud over my head. My mum had asked me something and I just asked you to do that. And I was like, I'm not here. I really weren't. Your body is literally being poisoned. You're putting up with these things that are just, they're going for it. They're putting up a pure fight. Oh. Alright, this is day 10 of the parasite cleanse. Today I've been tired, fatigued, I've been stressed. Things have been burning me head out around the house, and I know it's just because I'm flushing my body out of these nasties. I've had mega brain fog. I'm walking into places and forgetting what I went in for. I'm forgetting things. I didn't really want to get up this morning. I'd had 8 or 9 hours sleep and I was still tired. I just can't be bothered doing anything, and I'm just feel like I'm stuck in the mud. I feel just don't feel energetic and feel fatigued. Said fatigued.
And yeah, my head's blistered. I'm looking pale. I'm losing the colour in my skin. Feel dehydrated. As you can see, my lips are really chapped. And yeah, it's a graft. Roger, over and out.
Yeah, so it was a graft. I said fatigued 3 times then. I was forgetting what I even said. I was really fatigued. But yeah, I went pasty. I looked like I'd been on the snow beds. It was just dreadful. I didn't feel good. I had 8 or 9 hours sleep and I woke up and I did not want to get out of bed. I wanted to stay in bed. I didn't want to get up. And I just remember thinking, this is hard. I had a banging headache and just everything, the little noises, people clicking the car in the car park. I was like doing my head in. It's just like everything wrecked my head because it's a battle. Your body's basically poisoned at this point. So yeah, extreme warning, not for the squeamish, extreme warning. So then I started coming across these, which are known as Fabaceous busky flukes. They're huge. They're like slugs, mate. They're massive. This one was actually bending round the knife. It looked like it's dead, yeah. They come out dead, they all come out dead. The only way they really come out is when they die. They're attached to your intestine wall, and they're staying there unless they die, and that's when they let go. A lot of them also, I forgot to mention, with the skin, with the teguments as well. If you imagine that the sheaths of the esophagus and the intestine are shaped like this, the teguments can actually get trapped, and your receptors can't even pick up the nutrients. Your digestive hairs and receptors trying to get all them great nutrients and vital vitamins. If that's coated with a skin that your stomach acids can't even get rid of, what's going on? You're not even getting, you're putting stuff in and it's not even affecting you. You're not even getting, yeah. But this one here, that looks like a whale or something. It was huge. It was bending over the knife. And it, what's that? That come out of me, yeah. That came out of me. There was a few of these. Trust me, there was a few of them. This is what they look like. This is the Fabulous Busky fluke, probably about 10, 11. This is them. This is when they've been cleaned down, maybe, like a more better image. Fasciolopus busky fluke. And if you read here, it's medical importance in humans and in pigs. This is where they come from. Pigs. I used to love pork, salami, chorizo. It was my thing, you know what I mean? I used to love it. I used to eat them pepperoni sticks. What a day, I don't even know. But yeah, this is where they come from. And the Fabulous busky is the giant intestinal fluke, and they weigh. When I was dropping them back in, it was like they weighed. So yeah. Warning, not for the squeamish. We go again, yeah? So this is taken from online. Someone got these busky flukes and their teguments, and this was me. They were big. They come out in all different shapes and sizes. Raw, yeah. Disgusting. Bad. Day 12. Next part of the video blog.
Day 12 of the parasite cleanse. Not feeling good today at all. Woke up headache, tired. Didn't want to get up again. Had to force myself to get up. Yeah, headache. Started drinking water when I got up. Don't feel good at all. I've had to eat something just this morning. I had 2 Weetabix with milk. Didn't have any sugar or anything on it, but if you check Weetabix back of the box, there's like 2 grams of sugar per biscuit anyway, so we just can't escape this stuff. It's just everywhere. Keep you updated.
Sorry, that was the Weetabix coming back up there. So yeah, when you do this cleanse, you have to cut sugar out your diet. You've got to do it. If the sugar feeds them, they love. Anything you like, they love. Anything you hate, they despise. You don't like that bitter herb, they despise that bitter herb. You like that chocolate bar, they love that chocolate bar. So it's essential that you cut sugar out, otherwise you're just giving them more firepower. You have to cut off their supply of food, and that is sugar and artificial stuff. Day 12, they started coming out a lot more clearer. So this point, because I hadn't been eating that much, my stool wasn't really there. I was just passing these things then, and that's what they look like, flukes. There you can see images of flukes on the left, me on the right. This is a little video. This looks like a slug, just looks like a slug. Look at it, it's got like, it just looks like a slug. They've been all over my liver, all over my intestine. Yeah, and then this is it turned over. This is an image of what it looks like. Different fluke. I think this one is a stomach fluke maybe. And this is it here. This is a video. That was it turned over, so I got it out. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, legit, innit? It just looks identical to that, doesn't it? So yeah, toxins. They were bad. It was a fight. Flu-like symptoms. Not feeling good at all. Pure battle. So, some die-off symptoms to expect. I'll come to a close in a minute. Abdominal pain, bad breath. That was something else that I had. I knew I had bad breath. It was just like, bruising, crawling sensation. Becca was itchy all around the legs. Digestive problems, emotional instabilities, fatigue, headaches, joint pain, muscle pain, pain around the eyes, skin sores, weakness. Symptoms will depend on the type as well as the location within the body. Most of them, yeah. I didn't get like crawling sensation, didn't get bruising. Becca got crawling sensation. She was up against pinworms and other worms that, will cause certain symptoms. So the die-off symptoms of parasites often resemble those associated with a flu and can often make it difficult for an individual to want to carry out the parasite cleanse program. Nevertheless, it is important that you stick to the program until the parasites have been removed, as it will help to speed up the healing process. It's essential, as we spoke about before. Oh, no, it's going ahead. Spoiling it. So yeah, similar to how the Prince of Darkness, Dracula, likes the blood. We got the blood fluke. I was taking colloidal silver of a morning and of a night. Colloidal silver destroys pathogens and parasites. I was also taking garlic. It's just great the way the Prince of Darkness doesn't like silver, doesn't like garlic, doesn't like light, doesn't like holy water. Well, let's compare that. So, there's the silver, the colloidal silver. There's the garlic. We know what the water is for us. The holy water is the word, isn't it? That we might sanctify ourselves and cleanse it with the washing of the water of the word. Then Yeshua spoke to them saying, I am the light of the world, and similar how Dracula doesn't like the light and he doesn't like the holy water. We can have this on our arsenal also. We should be praying because we know the Most High, we know the King of Kings. We've got him on our side. We should be washing in the water of the word, and we should be with the light, Yeshua, walking in his Torah. I am the light of the world. He that follows me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. Beautiful. These two are essential. They're essential weapons in this cleanse. I watched a guy, Paul Chirk, and he's speaking about how his clients, they either have one or two reactions. They act like they've been bit by a dog and they want needles and they want the best medicine, they want the dog put them down, or they don't care. And we do have a motive, don't we? We know that we are Israel. We know that we want to be the bride. We know we want to be obedient. We know we want to be clean. We know we want to be holy and sanctified. We have a motive. So there he goes. Hey! The Prince of Darkness progress report. So how I feel now, I actually feel amazing. I've felt the best I've ever felt in my life, and I ain't just saying that. I feel amazing. I'm waking up early. I'm choosing to want to go back to sleep. My body is like, get up. When in the past I'd my alarm clock would go and I'd be like, oh no, I'll roll over. Now it's like, I should be getting up. Do one another 15 minutes. Oh, go on then. But I feel alert. I'm on the ball. The little simple things like, where have I put my keys? Oh yeah, they're in the shoe in the hall. That's just nothing, you know what I mean? Them little things that you forget throughout the day. That brain fog, that cognitive function, that's quite distorted. It's not there, I'm remembering the littlest things and putting the pieces together better, feeling fantastic, feeling great, feeling really on top. It's great. It's having an all-around massive impact on me. I'm currently day 12 of my second course. I've inspected my stool numerous times and I've found no worms. No, nothing. But, I keep the cleanse going. So I've dropped my dose down of the teas to just 1 tea a day. Simply because I know these herbs are powerful and they can put a lot of strain on you, So in terms of your gut, and I know I'm not passing worms, I'm going to still see the cleanse through and probably go again in 6 months. People say it's important that we do this cleanse twice a year, once a year. So yeah, that's the progress report. I'm taking probiotics every single day, and the probiotics help in not only fighting these bad guys, they also line the intestinal tract themselves. So the pathogenic baddies come in, but there's been what's known as immunomodulation. So basically the probiotic lands where the bad guys are going to land, and they can't land there because the probiotic's there. It's beautiful, it's great. And this is how I see it. Who remembers June? Yeah, when they're fighting them worms. This is like the probiotic guys going after the worms. It's great. Yeah, it's for all the people of the era who liked all that stuff. So yeah, that's how I like to see it. None of this. It's more like this. And then it dawned on me. Took it further. Brian said I was meant to do this teaching a couple of weeks ago, and Brian said, "It's alright, La. Yeah, I was probably going to reveal some more stuff to you," and he did. I actually came across what's known as microbiota. Now, every single person has their own individual microbiota. This is just the last thing that I'm going to cover. It's like your fingerprint. It's your friendly bacteria. You have an individual microbiota, yeah? The study suggesting that the environment that you're in, the people you share your dwelling with, you are actually all swapping microscopic software. You're actually swapping microscopic software by hugging, touching, sharing food, breathing in the same environment. You're all swapping microscopic data with one another. And as you can see here, cohabiting family members share the same microbiota with one another and with their dogs. As I was getting onto this, I then found out a study that had been done on husky dogs, husky wolves. They were trying to tame husky wolves, not dogs. And over a period of time, these wolves began to drop the tails, the ears bent in, the behavior patterns changed, and it was because they were trying to make themselves more approachable with humans, similar to how scientific studies have been done with dogs, and they start picking up on their owner's traits. Ever heard the saying, dog looks like its owner? It could be very well true. They're sharing microbiota with one another. It's beautiful. That is important, why we share our dwelling place, why we choose who we share our dwelling place with as well, The shared microbiota of humans and companion animals, and here we have unraveling the effects of the environment and the host genotype of the gut microbiota, because this microscopic software goes inside of you, plays a part, it must do. And if we can share microbiota with animals, we were just reading in the Torah portion just recently how Yah commands to go and wipe out all the animals. Why? It's a question that you'd ask, isn't it? Why would God do that? Well, surely, if these were Nephilim and of Nephilim offspring, and they've been cohabiting with the animals, they've been swapping microbiota. Makes sense, doesn't it? So yeah, microbiota. It's the bacteria that goes inside of your gut, and by hugging, touching, kissing, sharing food, you're actually sharing data. And that's how I've seen it. And then I took this picture of us guys and the importance of how we share food on our table on the Shabbat. And that's why the feasts are so special. It's a feast. It's about the food and coming together, the Passover. It's beautiful, isn't it? That's why David says, sit at my table, It's got that about it. The intimacy of breaking bread with one another. It's beautiful, isn't it? You cannot drink of the cup of Yahovah and of the cup of demons. You cannot partake of the table of Yahovah and at the table of demons. Amen. So now I'm finishing my course, and I've shared my knowledge with you, and I hope that you can take this knowledge, utilize it, and if you feel led to do it yourself. I'm currently off sugar. I don't have cravings for sugar anymore. My mum was like, "Who wants chocolate fudge cake?" And it's like, meh. It just don't do it for you anymore, man. It don't cut it. That apple crumble ain't looking appealing no more, you know what I mean? It's a turn off. I was eating sunflower seeds the other day and I was like, yeah, these are beneficial. This makes sense. And they tasted great. Oh, me, John Paul and Charlie have just been like on these, what are they called? Naked fruit bars. Oh man, we're like kids. I remember back in the day when I used to be like in the underworld and just a bad guy, you know, buzzing off different drugs that you've got. Well, we're all like buzzing off like these naked bars that we found. John Paul found these Bakewell ones and they're just boss. They're 100% vegan, made out of just fruits and nuts, and they're just great, aren't they, mate? We've been like texting one another like, oh, look at these new ones, these toffee ones and that. It's just, that's where we're up to now. We don't have sugar, so we're all buzzing off these like, yeah, serious. So yeah, this is me, round 2, when I started my course, and I went in, yes, come on, we can do this, it's great, let's have it, round 2. That's how you got to be the whole day. You got to imagine, every day that you do this cleanse is like a golden ticket, and how you spend that golden ticket, if you spend it on eating junk and eating food, you're wasting your time. Use that golden ticket, it's 14 days, use it to fast. We know how relevant fasting is in scripture. We know Yeshua fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. We know that when the Hebrews were taken out of Egypt, Yahovah made them fast. There's reasons behind it. Doing prolonged fasting can kill these parasites as well. It makes the environment unfavorable for them. So yeah, round 2, let's have it. Also, I'd advise potentially doing some juicing, adding a liquid. This is what I've been doing recently. I've been blending apples of a morning into a juicer, so getting rid of the pulp and just getting the nutrients, and then getting spinach, putting that in with another blender, so not with the juicer, and blending spinach and hemp protein and having that, and that's just brilliant. You know, that fills you up. I'm eating less. I'm feeling great. I've got a bit of sniffles today, which just came about randomly, or not. But yeah, this is what I've been doing, and I'd recommend maybe doing a juice detox as well, if you're doing the parasite cleanse. So, in conclusion, we all have parasites, can't kill them all, but it's about maintaining them. Did you? They're lying to you, you know, man. They're lying to you. We've all got them. I hope that this has been informative, and I hope that my teaching can inspire you. Anyone who's watching this, you've got to go for it. Don't be deceived. We've all got parasites. We should be cleansing. The rewards are just massive. We all have a motive to do it. It's brilliant. I feel so much better. My teeth grinding stopped, which is just great. I've stopped biting my nails. Hallelujah. I used to think in my head, there's one thing that I'll never stop doing, biting my nails. Genuinely. Because I've done it all my life. This is a gateway. I'm constantly putting pathogens inside of my body. I prayed to stop biting my nails. He's took it from me. He took it from me. And I used to tell myself, I'll never stop biting my nails. If there's one thing God could not take from me, it's me biting my nails, because I was addicted to it really badly. I've stopped. It's like there's a block there. I put my finger close to my mouth and it's just like, he really has done something to me. Praise Yah. So yeah, thanks all for listening. Let us offer a sign, a shalom, and we've got bread and wine to do. Hallelujah. I hope that it can be encouraging to you. Let's come together as the Mishpachah that we are. You know, we are Israel, we are a family, we edify one another, we got the words of life. Amen. Amen.